What's up, guys? It's Dr. Jim. I am your chiropractor and your natural health care expert, and I want to welcome you to this video about our laser and plantar fasciitis. Now, it's an interesting word, plantar fasciitis. Some people don't know what it is, so I'm going to try to give you a little background on that. But if you know what it is, then you already know what I'm talking about. So plantar fasciitis is often a pain at the bottom of your foot. So if we think this is your foot, and it'll be a pain kind of right in here, right up into the heel. And when it bothers you the most is typically if you have not been moving. Maybe you've laid down, you went to sleep, and when you first get up in the morning and you put your feet on the floor, it literally feels like somebody's stabbing you with an ice pick in the bottom of your foot, all right? Now, the fascia is, it's a coating over muscles and ligaments, and what it does is it gets pulled. It attaches right here at the heel. This is called the plantar surface of the foot. The fascia, where it attaches at the heel, gets inflamed. There's your itis. So it's plantar fasciitis. Okay? So at least hopefully you go, well, now I understand at least what it is. Well, this is the thing. I got a laser because of this problem. Not that I had this problem, but that I've had over the years, I'd had hundreds of patients with this problem. And I would work on them and they'd be like, oh, that feels better. And they'd come back to me in a week and it still hurts. And I'd work on them and they're like, oh, that feels better. And then in a week later, they would come back and it still hurts. And so I started looking for a natural solution to this problem because I got caught up in their stories. Because what I found is they would go to this doctor and then, they'd spend $300-400 on custom orthotics. Then they'd spend another $100 on special shoes. And then they'd end up getting a cortisone injection in their heel. And then the next thing they end up in a boot. And a year and a half later, they still have the problem and they've spent thousands of dollars on the problem. And then eventually it just seemed like it just went away all of a sudden. And so I was like, this is a group of patients I'd like to be able to help. So I started really diving into the research on this problem, and that's why I got a Class 4 deep tissue therapy laser. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But with plantar fasciitis, through all the research, whether, originally they thought, well, maybe it's because your arch dropped, or people had their Achilles was too tight, or their hamstring was too tight, and these are the reasons why you develop plantar fasciitis. Well, there's only one reason that they found across all of the different surveys that was uniform amongst all of them, and that was a reduction in dorsiflexion on the affected side. Now, dorsiflexion is, plantar is on the bottom of the foot like we just talked about. So dorsi is on the top. So if your ankle can't flex up very well on the side that's affected, that's called limited dorsiflexion. And what it does is every time you go to walk and your ankle doesn't flex up, it pulls all that tension on the bottom of your foot right where it attaches at your heel. Because normally the ankle should flex more, but it's not, so then it's all jamming right to here and it's inflaming that surface. So one of the main things that we do here to help with that is we do an adjustment to the ankle so that we can increase dorsiflexion because that was the original problem. That's what I did long time ago before I ever had a laser. But guess what I found out? That inflamed, that itis where it attaches at your heel, it doesn't have a great blood supply. So it would just stay inflamed and irritated even though we were working on fixing the cause of it. It would not heal as fast as I would like. So we got a Class 4 deep tissue therapy laser, and what we have found is if we do the laser directly on that spot, okay, and the laser light penetrates down into the tissue, the damaged and inflamed tissue absorbs that laser light energy, and it stimulates the cells to divide, heal, and regenerate about 8 to 10 times faster than they would normally on their own. Second, because it brings down inflammation, the laser does, it helps good stuff get in and bad stuff get out because inflammation can block some of those things. And then lastly, we know that the laser helps increase blood flow. So one of the things is we know the plantar fascia doesn't have great blood supply, and that's why it stays irritated for a really long time. So by being able to increase blood flow to the damaged or the problem area, we can actually stimulate and increase the healing and reduce the healing time. And so That's why I am super excited about this laser, because if you're a runner and you get plantar fasciitis, man, you know what that does. That could sideline you for a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. If you're a CrossFitter, a boot camper, any type of weekend warrior athlete, if you're just, a grandma and you've started getting it, and every morning you wake up and you put your feet on the floor and you can't even hardly walk to the bathroom, you know what plantar fasciitis is like. So we developed a program here where we usually start 4 visits and we do the adjustment and the laser, and we've been getting fantastic results. Now, depending on how severe it is and how chronic it is, it could take longer, but if it's brand new, if you just started feeling it, I cannot recommend highly enough to come in immediately, because it's more likely in 4 treatments, in a couple weeks, we can have it knocked out. Now, if it's been around a long time, if it's really chronic, well, it might take 4. We start with 4, we see where we get. Then it might take 8, it might take 12. But usually within 12 visits, we will have it knocked out, and we can avoid, cortisone shots and boots and all of those things. So I hope this video helps you. If you like it, if you've ever had the laser and you liked it, please comment below. If you know somebody that you think could benefit from the laser, whether it be for anything that ends in itis, especially plantar fasciitis, if you know a weekend warrior that's got a snag, an ache, and pain that they just recently exacerbated, the laser is great for it. Please comment below, share it with them. But just like I tell my son every day before he goes to school, be your very best today, #never quit. And I believe that God wants the very, very best for you. And the day you believe that, it could change your life forever. Have an awesome, awesome day.